it seems like we've been doing this quite frequently this year, and I know there's more to come. And I'll let the mayor speak to some of those points as well. But let me introduce some of the dignitaries we have in our audience. We've got our council represented by Mayor Mary Ann Edwards, Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Comachero, Council Member Mike Nagar, and Council Member Chuck Washington's with us this morning, and Council Member Ron Roberts was not able to attend today. We also have with us County Supervisor Jeff Stone, and I might add the leading vote getter for this 28th Senate seat. Congratulations, Jeff. Our City Manager Aaron Adams is with us today. We have several representatives from our Public Traffic Safety Commission. If you guys could raise your hands. I know. Say their names. I've got Skip's here. I've got Bob's here. I've got JR here. I've got my Planning Commission represented by Ron and John in the back.
Great job, guys. Great job.
Anybody else didn't get introduced? Let's see. Let me turn this over to Mary Ann Edwards, but before I do that, I want to acknowledge some of the project staff that have worked on it. My Public Works Director, Tom Garcia, was going to come out, but he's out sick and didn't want to expose everybody. I saw Amir Attar, our oversight engineer, show up. There's Amir. Project Manager Dave McBride, I saw him go by an inspector vehicle. He's probably checking something out with the inspector, Jay Oldham and Mike Hudson. Is David Evans, did they make it in? I didn't see anybody show up. I did see some of our soil technician staff out here from Layton. Guys, raise your hands. Thanks for coming out. And then I thought I saw somebody from Hillcrest show up. Did anybody out there from Hillcrest? Didn't catch them. All right, that was our contractor. Also want to thank our county partners who worked really closely with Farrah Koshadi and Alan French over in the Riverside County Transportation Department. Jeremy Goldman's here from Southern California Edison. Thanks for showing up, Jeremy. With that, let me introduce 3rd District County Supervisor, and as I mentioned, the leading vote getter in the 28th State Senate seat primary, Jeff Stone.
Thank you, Greg, and good morning, everyone. It's a delight to be out here this morning, and I'd like to provide you with just a little bit of institutional memory as I think, is Ron Roberts here? He's out here. Well, I'm the one who's been around here the longest. So just to give you a little institutional memory, when I first got elected to the City Council in 1992, and most of you know that nobody ever thought that I would get elected. It just had to be a fluke, I guess, but I got elected. And one of the issues that I faced at that time was that there was tremendous bypass traffic going through Calle Medusa. And the people on Calle Medusa were at our council meetings and screaming angrily that the city needed to do something and not shove all the traffic down their neighborhood street. In fact, one of the strong proponents of getting a bypass road, Nelson Betancourt, who's a good guy, he put a gate around the front of his house to keep his kids from going out in the street, and ironically, I don't know if you know this, he was hit by a car, okay? Well, he decided to move, but he didn't move because we didn't solve the problem. We did solve the problem, and the Public Works Director and the City Manager at the time and I, we worked on a state grant. We got a state grant that paid for Calle Chapos over here. And that was one of 3 solutions that helped solve that problem. And then I was on the City Council at the time when we had the Roar Ranches project. And not only did it become a challenge after the project was approved, but it was a challenge getting the project approved. And those that sat on the City Council may remember that very interesting night. I was mayor actually at the time. And the proponent of the project decided that he was going to get up and he was going to try to negotiate reducing some of his conditions of approval. And I said, sir, that should have been done before. We're not going to continue on with any discussions of the conditions of approval. Do you accept the conditions? And he kept ignoring me and kept saying, well, I want to be reduced of this, and I want to have this eliminated. And finally I said, is there a motion to deny this project? And there was a motion and there was a second. I said, Mr. Ashby, I'm going to ask you for the last time. Do you accept the conditions of this project? He goes, yes, we do. We do. No further discussion. And so the project was approved. So it was a very interesting council meeting. So here we are today, and I have to say, this is a little self-serving because I live right off the street about a mile and a half away, and I've had to use this bypass to get to Butterfield Stage Extension. And it's nice to know that I'm not going to have to burden these property owners anymore with traffic, and that we can have it flow freeing all the way to Murrieta Hot Springs Road, and then certainly working with the county, we're going to continue that extension in the future. But just so you'll know, the easterly side of the road is in Riverside County, and again, this is a good example of governments working together, county government and city government. And here we are to do yet another ribbon cutting, and we've been doing quite a few of these in southwest Riverside County. It's going to provide easy access to several county residents and city residents, and wine country access will also benefit as those coming from the north can use Murrieta Hot Springs Road to Butterfield Stage and onto Rancho California Road. And with 105 potentially new wineries, we need as much safe ingress and egress to the wine country as possible. So Greg, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak, and to all the traffic and safety commissioners and the planning commissioners that are here today. Thank you for your service to the city and to the city council. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve with you, and it's these days that make the job certainly special. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll turn the floor over to Mary Ann Edwards, our mayor.
We could have just gone to my house for breakfast since it's just all family this morning, so we still could, yes. You go down this road, you turn left to go to Jeff's house, you turn right to go to my house, so it would have been just that easy. I feel kind of funny up here, all by myself and so far away, but it just looks magnificent. I will tell you that probably the second most frequently asked question next to when are we getting Nordstrom, now that the hospital is built, is when are you going to put that road through, Butterfield Stage Road? And here we are today, and it is magnificent. It took me, 6 minutes to get here, something like that, from my house. And that was, I can drive through the barricades with a small car. You probably had to, negotiate around just a little bit, so. Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't bring up that badge thing again if I were you. You still have a few more months to go, so don't, note to everybody, don't use those badges. So first thing on my list, and it's a little self-serving as well, so if you would like to attend the groundbreaking for our special needs playground tomorrow at 4:30, we would love to have you at Murrieta Park. It's the site of the former YMCA building, that's Murrieta Park. So again, we also acknowledge the wonderful city-county partnership for this project. It has been a long time coming, as long as I can remember, and I remember that council meeting. It was amazing, and so there has been a long and storied past with Mr. Ashby and this project. So this will provide the final piece for the north and south corridor on the east side of Temecula. So we will rescue the residents who have been landlocked, and with Winchester being their only choice to make it all the way to the freeway. So I know that they're going to be grateful of that. And this will also free up some of the circulation problems that we've had going through the center of town. So this will be a well worth it project, even as much of a hassle as it has been. It's going to be well worth the wait. With the only final leg being the widening that's needed in just the final piece that surrounds Rancho California Road near La Serena. So really, having said that, we're going to have a free-flowing piece all the way down from 79 South, or Temecula Parkway, all the way up to Murrieta Hot Springs. So we look forward to everything that this road has to offer, and look off into beautiful wine country Temecula. So we look forward to cutting the ribbon and making it official today. So thank you all for coming, and we wish you, and this is what Mr. Butler, this waxed poetic, balloon-filled skies, and I added traffic-free east side motoring as we open this connecting link for our major north-south circulation system. Thank you very much. Well, you wrote the first part. I did the close for you.
You did good. Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone mentions the developer. There's one guy sitting in the audience, Trabaco, who's now helping represent the development opportunities out here on Phase 2. And they're part of the team or part of the group of investors that now own Murrieta Ranch Development that has had the CFD funding in place that helped fund this particular project. There was no city funding that was utilized to pay for this road. This is all CFD bond proceeds that is going to be paid for by the residents in the Murrieta Ranch area. So one thing to emphasize there. With that, the formal program will close with, if I can get my elected officials up here, a couple folks from my public works staff. Aaron, you want to come up and we'll hold the ribbon, get this thing cut, and we'll get the contractor to clean things up and open the road up to the community.